Last month, two USF doctoral students, Zamil, Limon and Nahida, Bristy, both 27, both brilliant, both full of promise and bright futures, vanished without a sound. What investigators would uncover over the next 2 weeks reads like a warning no one wanted to believe. Zamil shared his off-campus apartment with a former USF student named Hisham Abugharbieh. On paper, this guy was just a roommate, but in reality, this monster was a man whose mind had been cracking for years. Abugharbieh was only there 2 months, but issues began almost immediately. Zamil had complained he was unsocial, unpleasant, and barely left his room. Zamil and another roommate even filed a complaint with the complex about Abugharbieh's behavior, but nothing changed. Maybe Zamil hoped it would get better. Maybe he didn't want conflict. Maybe he just didn't realize how dangerous the man down the hall had become. Abugharbieh had a history, one that now reads like a roadmap to disaster. In 2023, he attacked his own family, shouting delusions like, "I am God and I created my brother." Deputies Baker acted him. His mother said he'd changed after heavy marijuana use. His brother said he'd become paranoid, angry, unpredictable. And behind closed doors, his online searches grew darker. Quote, "Can a knife penetrate a skull?" Unquote. Quote, "How to dispose of a body?" Unquote. He even asked an AI bot how to hide one. On April 16th, Zamil and Bristy were last seen alive. No struggle, no witnesses, just two people who suddenly stopped answering their phones. 8 days later, a trash bag washed up under the Howard Franklin Bridge. Inside was Zamil's remains. 2 days later, kayakers found another bag tangled in mangroves off of I-275. On May 1st, the day of this taping, investigators have confirmed the worst. The remains found by the kayakers are those of Nahida Bristy. Inside the apartment, detectives found blood from the kitchen to Abugharbieh's bedroom, a pool of blood shaped like a body. Nahida's ID and cards were in Zamil's room. Surveillance footage captured Abugharbieh using a building cart to move heavy boxes. Boxes later found stained with blood. Prosecutors say this was planned. The supplies, the searches, the cleanup, all deliberate. Now he sits in jail without bond, charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. USF students gather at vigils, candles flickering against the Florida night. Faculty members cry through statements. Families prepare to send their children home to Bangladesh for burial. The sheriff calls it pure evil. And now that we have the facts, the truth settles heavy. Sometimes the danger isn't a stranger in the shadows. Sometimes it's the person you pass in the hallway. Sometimes the monster is already inside the house.